The Nets had the opportunity to win their fourth straight, but they lost to the Hornets. Yeah, the Hornets, bruh. But we're not going to throw no shade here. There's no hate. There were some good moments throughout the night. So let's talk hashtag Nets World with Caleb from Brooklyn Netcast, the media platform. Caleb, thanks for joining us. Love the lights in the back. Let's talk about this game, man. Let's break this thing down because to me as a professional athlete, that could have been the Nets' worst loss of the season because, one, who was it was against and what was at stake. So give us your thoughts on the night.
Absolutely. It was a really rough loss. It was, in my opinion, the worst loss of the season by a large margin, simply because you are playing a Charlotte Hornets team without Brandon Miller and without LaMelo Ball. So there's not a lot of offensive firepower in the first place, but then you give up 129 points on 50, 50, 100 splits. And they allowed 23 pointers and 15 free throws plus. That's the first time that's been done in NBA history. So the defense was historically bad last night against a team that, quite frankly, has been bad this season. And they've been bad for the last few seasons, and they're missing their main engine in their offense. So it was just a really rough loss. And quite frankly, not a lot of effort on the defensive side or in the rebounding department.
Yeah, when you go back or when you look forward ahead in the season, you're looking for a play-in spot or a spot in the playoffs. This is going to be one of those games where you wish you had that you're not going to have to make up with a must-win later on in the season. But let's talk about a positive, man. This guy, Cam Thomas, was back in the rotation. My man didn't miss a beat. He showed and reminded folks why he is really him in Brooklyn. So what's your thoughts on Cam's first night back and his minutes restriction?
Well, I thought he played very well. Obviously, the assist numbers weren't there, but I thought a lot of that had to do with him creating opportunities for his teammate and his teammates drawing fouls while doing that. Claxton got to the free throw line twice off Cam Thomas passes, Mikal once, Cam Johnson once. So just as a whole, he was creating looks for his teammates, even if it didn't show up in the stat sheet, and knocking down buckets like he always does. 26 points last night in 25 minutes. He was gassed at the end of the game. I know people were upset about his play. Not getting enough play in the fourth quarter, rather. But he did call to be subbed out around the 7-minute mark in the fourth quarter. So he was gassed, but he played great. I mean, you can't ask a guy to come back in and shoot the way he did. And it's not normal. He's very special.
Yeah, I'm gassed when I run up and down the court at the YMCA, so I can't imagine being out a couple weeks and going into a professional basketball game. But let's look ahead, because I never thought I would see the day where the Orlando Magic are 13-5 and the second best record in the Eastern Conference. Is this a must-win game? And if it is, how do the Mets get it done at home?
I think you got to grab some momentum here after a loss like this in Charlotte. I think there's definitely some extra motivation there to say, okay, we just blew a really, I wouldn't say easy game. No game's easy in the NBA, but it's one of the easier games that you're going to get all year. So grabbing that momentum, going on to later play Washington as well. If you can get things going now against one of the better defenses and younger teams in basketball, I think it will just show good things down the road. So I wouldn't say it's a must win, but it's definitely a game that you got to put a stamp on and say, okay, we're here, we're a really good basketball team, and we're going to show it and bounce back after that Hornets performance.
Yeah, stack some easy W's on the early side to make things easier on the back end of the season. Caleb, tell the people where they can find you.
So you can find us on Twitter at Brooklyn Netcast. That's what we mostly use. It's our main platform. But we also have a podcast on Spotify under the same name and on Instagram. We're branching out more and more and going to different platforms. So just keep an eye out for that. But if you want to find where we really do everything, we have a link tree on Twitter.
All right. Make sure you guys check him out. And thanks for hopping on with us, bro.
Of course, anytime.